If you've ever
And this woke nonsense, this woke stuff is just the ultimate waste of time. The people who find themselves on the woke side are not going to survive what is coming. It's blatantly obvious that they're just wasting their time with absolute nonsense, nonsensical issues. This is just more of it. It is so unbelievable. Some of this stuff that I'm seeing, I honestly, I never thought in a million years this would happen in my lifetime. I wonder how Jeff C. would have reacted if he was still here. Probably would have lost his mind, which this stuff does kind of make me lose my mind. But Home Depot was handing out this, if you haven't seen it, this white privilege stuff for their employees in Canada. A Canadian branch of Home Depot sparked outrage after it posted a notice to employees about the benefits of white privilege. So get right. I know we've heard about some of this stuff, but look at this document. This was somebody actually posted this online from Home Depot, and Home Depot, of course, tried to play it off like, yeah, well, we're not fully affiliated with this Home Depot. Like, what? Of course you are. Just because somebody, just stop, please. So look at this stuff. White privilege, what it looks like. What white privilege looks like. If you're confident that the police exist to protect you, you have white privilege. If while growing up, college was an expectation of you, not a dream, you have class privilege. If you can expect time off from work to celebrate your religious holidays, you have Christian privilege. And there it is, right? Christian privilege. Why would that not be any other religion other than Christian? Can we start with that? Because I'm pretty sure that during this whole outbreak, that the one religion that did not, and I hate to call it a religion, but you know what I mean. The one religion that did not receive exemptions were Christians, the one group of people. Christians who tried to get exemptions were automatically denied. We saw it all over the place, right? New York City, just recently, the city workers all got their, were denied, even though athletes and stuff are now allowed to play on Magic Potion, and people aren't even aware of what's going on in New York. It's unbelievable still, but it's not making the news, of course, because they don't want you to know that. But the Christians were denied for religious exemption. But we know a certain group of bagel biters who, of course, their exemption is granted. But they wouldn't mention them in here because that would be, well, too true. Christians, nobody else, right? Nobody else, but they have to mention Christians. So Christians expect to take time off from work because of religious holidays. And what would those exactly be? Because most Christian holidays that are celebrated are actually like national holidays where people who aren't even Christian celebrate. Like more Satanists celebrate Christmas than Christians, really. At least Christians who are awake and know what the holiday is really about, right? So, of course, they would use Christians because why wouldn't they? Look at some of this stuff. Let me read you the article verbatim here for the most part. The notice, which is listed leading practices unpacking privilege, was posted in an employee lounge at a Home Depot in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. A spokeswoman from Home Depot's U.S. headquarters confirmed to the Post that the white privilege notice was material for its Canadian division. She said it hadn't been approved by the company's diversity and inclusion department. Well, just the fact that you have a diversity and inclusion department just goes to show you that you're a woke, whatever you would call it, a woke organization. And we know all these big companies are obviously all on board. What a surprise that no company stands up and has like a difference of opinion. They just jump in. Like they don't want to make money, right? Home Depot's like, no, we'll get rid of and offend a lot of our customers. Who cares? Because, that's the mindset of a business. You're supposed to start a business to try to make money so you could provide for your family and whatever else you want to do. But, yeah, it's normal. So having departments like that just is another reason to just boycott Home Depot. The Canadian staffers who were apparently given the learning material were encouraged to acknowledge societal privileges that benefit white people beyond what is commonly experienced by people of color under the same social, political, and economic circumstances. I'm still waiting to see where you could apply for a job and they would, and they'd be like, no, you're not hired because you're black, or you're not hired because you're homosexual, because they would own the company. They would win a lawsuit in 5 seconds. So I'm pretty sure that people who hire, just like I've said in the past with women, they're like, women want equal pay. And it's like, when they have a job position open, They tell you the salary most of the time beforehand. They don't go, we'll offer the man 50, we'll offer the woman 25, because we won't get our rear end suit off for millions of dollars. Huh? Right? And then, of course, we have other people of certain communities ZQY communities that think that they're oppressed against when they automatically get hired. We see them on every one of these big corporations. This automatically hires them based on that, not based on qualifications. Kind of like the charade you're seeing in Congress right now. So this says workers at the Home Depot were also urged to discuss their white privilege while being told that the word white creates discomfort, especially when individuals are not used to being defined or described by their race. So are people like, the fact that people are being molded like this, they should just automatically be like, you know what? I'm brain dead. That they're even thinking about things like this. There's such nonsense. They're just nonsense. It's nonsense issue. I don't care what skin color I was, and I don't care what skin color this would even be talking about. It's so stupid. It's insanity. But these are the issues that people focus on while they have built a new world order. Now, while they're going to roll it out. But the same people who are focused on this, of course, are the ones who have lined up, taken potions, and the same people who are going to be gone in a few years. Not just from the potion, from what is to come with famine and everything else, because they don't have a clue how to survive, and they don't have any skills of doing anything. They can't homestead. They don't know how to find, nothing. Everything's just like, they take for granted food and water and everything. Having a roof over their heads. Just imagine when crap hits the fan, these people. The same ones who constantly try to censor people like you and me. So it says, hoping to celebrate Christmas, the flyer says, if you can't expect time off for work, like I said earlier, for your religious holidays, you have Christian privilege. Staffers were also told in the notice that if you're confident the police exist to protect you, you have white privilege. People were asked to check a box determining what privileges they had. The choices were white, male, class, Christian, cisgender, able-bodied, and heterosexual, right? Heterosexual privilege, right? Like I said earlier, like if I went into Apple with some brain dead LGB person whose hair was green and they didn't have a clue about actually how to work or do anything, and they just wanted to talk about how their feelings, they get hired over someone like me in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, just based on that alone, or you, or any of us. So the privilege is reversed, but these people are so invertedly I almost said a word I can't say, insane that they actually believe this stuff. So, but like I said, you don't have to worry about many of these people in due time. It's not clear if the packet of information was simply informational, or if it was part of a group learning exercise, or if Canadian employees had to actually fill out the privilege forms and turn them into management. The U.S. spokesperson for Home Depot told the Post that the information was not officially sanctioned as part of any required company-wide training. You had somebody there hand it out. If you didn't shut the store down, that means, in my opinion, you'd be promoting this type of garbage. You see the same stuff going on with Disney now, which is fine by me, because Disney is just a massive mind control operation, CIA run, and of course it's a front for something else with kids. And of course we know all the groomers have come out of there, from Justin Timberlake to Britney Spears to Christina Aguilera to Ryan Gosling to, the list is so long I can't even remember anyone else at this point. Shia LaBeouf, who else? That's enough for now, but isn't Ariana Grande from there? I don't know. They're all from Disney for the most part, or Nickelodeon. So I'm fine with what they're doing with that. Shut it down. Shut Disney down. I'm all for it. So they say the spokeswoman didn't immediately say whether the information had been discontinued in Canada. So of course it's not. Some of the packet's privilege warnings included, if while growing up, college was an expectation, you have white privilege, like I said earlier. If you can use public bathrooms without stairs, fear, or anxiety, you have cisgender privilege. So we all have that, apparently. Although I am pretty uncomfortable sometimes using a public bathroom, because you never know what might walk in the door with the freak show we're living in today's world. If you don't have to worry about how to get into a store, you have able-bodied privilege. I had no idea. Does anyone know these people that are unable to get into a store? I've been to a store recently. I haven't been outside and seen anybody who's like checking the corners and like, can I get in there? Right. But soon that will exist, because you'll have to have the mark to get in. So, then it might be, we might all qualify as non-able-bodied privilege, but apparently we all have able-bodied privilege. Could you imagine like listening to people talk about this stuff like it actually exists and it's real? And they're like, oh my goodness, did you see so? And of course they all talk the same way. oh my gosh, did you see so and so? They don't realize that that has anything to do with being groomed and engineered to talk a certain way based on some type of preference they might have in a bedroom. If they can't figure that out, then, well, they're already beyond saving. But imagine them talking about it. Oh my goodness, can you believe Josh is so able-bodied. He's got able-bodied privilege. He thinks he can get into the store. Like, oh my goodness. Have you seen Susanna? Oh, so she's got cisgender privilege because she goes poopy in the toilet in the Target store and doesn't feel uncomfortable, get anxiety. Oh, what a biatch, right? I mean, just what is the point of existing if you're one of these people? I don't know. But the company does not require that the content of the notice be taught as part of its diversity and inclusion initiative. A source familiar with the matter told the Post some conservatives and free speech advocates have denounced attempts by companies and colleges to impose woke indoctrination. Well, the woke stuff's going to continue to spread. Obviously, this stuff is just a waste of time, but people are completely brain dead. I mean, we're living at the stupidest time period. Like I've been saying about what is a woman? You have Congress talking about that openly. Congress, used to put on C-SPAN. Have you ever, are you older and you put on C-SPAN before? I used to put on C-SPAN on YouTube and watch the prank calls. That used to be fun. But put on C-SPAN, half the time you're like, what? They're like, we're talking about Bill C-12, about parking permits outside the city ordinance, and whether or not it should be the hours of 9 to 6 before towing, like that kind of crap. Ridiculous just rules and regulations that we live with. That's what they would talk about. Now you turn it on, we're electing someone who's going to be in a high position of power. What is a woman? I do not know, and I cannot answer that. You don't know what a woman is. Pretty sure, but you believe in science. Doesn't science tell us that already? Yeah. I'm pretty sure science tells us what that is by chromosomes, but I guess science and biology don't exist anymore. So, sure thing. Just insane people doing insane things while everyone's distracted by pure idiocracy and surrounded by it. While they continue to roll this out. Boy, I can't believe that people don't see what's going on, but oh man. So we have more wokeness. I would definitely boycott Home Depot, and even if you already go there, it's always good to help out local stores, a local hardware store if you need stuff, because there are people that obviously are not part of a giant matrix monopoly. But hey, what can I say at this point? That person who runs that store in your local town's probably woke too at this point. They're all just sound asleep with nobody behind the wheel.
Oof, oof.